And I remember for the last couple of days, one thing that I've been talking about is the fact that football is certainly about results and nothing else. In a game of football, so when your results are, nobody cares about how well you played or how well you did not play. It doesn't matter. Now, there's something that I've seen, especially with the wave of results about this weekend with some of the big teams. So that is prompting me to come in and talk about this. Of course, with the Chelsea win against Liverpool is also a big one. You be this coming in our house on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, but there are lots of things that you need to enjoy. Hey, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. So subscribe to the channel now. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification. In the notification, turn and choose all. Just so anytime your content ever drop on. Or your first person on Sabit Maka content. And of course, I had here more content here sounds so enjoy the best of Betway codes or Hasi. We give you the Betway codes Eddie Disca, Eddie enjoy on home. Eddie's have some good money every day. And all research codes. And then the not so good thing is the fact that Football Club Barcelona and Ababe say your winning streak by losing by 4-1. Who would have thought Barca will go away and play in Seville, normal Luzu at the Roman Sanchez page 1, normal lose by 4-1. But then of course, it has happened. We'll talk about it on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Again, subscribe to the channel and subscribe to the channel. Turn on notification. In the notification, turn choose all. Just anytime any content will drop here or your first person on Sabeka content. Let's get straight into it. Where do we start? Let's say a big thank you to Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. If it's about spare parts, at Chroma say the best place is Yesumo Spare Parts Dealership Shop. I'm sure contact them. Accra, Boso kind post office on them and I use more, but only Accra. They do what they call the nationwide delivery. Nationwide delivery. Sure, call them on 059-313-8221. For you, is here. You take very good care of you. Of course, I'm saying Tadian, I'll pay. You want apparel, you want to look good, you want to look clean. Yeah, then it's MOB clothing. MOB clothing. I'll take very good care of you. Gerald and then my man, they'll sort out everything for you in terms of clothes, for you to look good, for you to look clean, and everything that you need to do. Michelle, call them on 0200-668-708. 0200-668-708. Now, what do I want to say? I've seen a lot of people say, and when Chelsea win no money against Liverpool, no, it was because Arne Slot was not good enough or he made mistakes. I mean, Liverpool may have had their issues with respect to Arne Slot, but yesterday's game was not down to only Arne Slot's issues as a manager. People are talking about the off-the-ball shape and job of Arne Slot. People are talking about how Arne Slot used that Liverpool team. But to be very honest, that is not the reason why Arne Slot and his team lost that game. I mean, it was a game that was huge, that was difficult to play in. Chelsea came into that game with a plan, and I've said it several times. Enzo Mareska had a plan. See, football is essentially about results, and I can several times. When Arne Slot's not all share, last minute go. The analysis of a lot of people who just do football and results-oriented analysis was that their team is good enough and they have quality, and they believe that no matter how difficult the game gets, even late in the hour, they'll be able to get a result in team. It doesn't matter. That is to a lot of people. And I kept on saying at that time, it doesn't particularly mean that, because there's going to be a time where Liverpool concede very late and they won't get a chance to equalize. And it's not as if still only quality. The quality is still there. The performance is still there. The belief is still there. But you don't even have time, because football, you get the time, you get the ball. If you don't even get a time, how do you go in there and go and equalize inside? Send the way up so equalizing. So it was always going to be a difficult one. It is the same thing as what has happened in the Football Club Barcelona and why they are struggling. When Liverpool went into this game against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, you could tell that Arne Slot had a plan, the off-the-ball plan, the on-the-ball plan. And I can't several times there. Social body closely. And when I watched the game again, somewhere around the 9th minute, I think one of the things that we've probably not spoken about how good Joshua Kofi Achampong dealt with Abrante Feno Alexander Isak. Achampong's ability to read the game, step up, battle it out with Alexander Isak, be very physical, be very combative, and then be the presence that Chelsea have been looking for has been important. And I was saying the last time that me Bompire said Achampong, any Benoit Badiashile are not injured, because that will look like a very good, decent centre-back pair, even after international break, for the rest of the games, until a better friend Levi Cole come, or depend, because the army, the defenders in Coma, I talk about a couple of things. I talk about height, I talk about personality, I talk about physicality, and say player and Agasan are technically good. And these two centre-backs are technically very sound from two different parts. Benoit Badiashile is the passer. And like I said this morning, he had a lot of things around him in terms of how he will pass to break the lines, how he will hold on to break the line, how he will wait with the pulse, and all of these things were very important. Now, apart from the technical ability in terms of the ball playing ability of our branch friend Benoit Badiashile, he seems to be getting back the physicality. And I had spoken about Benoit Badiashile a year ago, 1.5 years ago, 6 months ago. I kept on saying, when you talk about Benoit Badiashile, what people are saying is that, oh, Onimbo on a passe, but also a good defender. Benoit is a good defender. The problem with Benoit is that after that injury, I don't know whether it was under Graham Potter or Mauricio Pochettino, but after that injury, Benoit, I don't know, he was always double thinking his actions. I say he was unsure of what he wanted to do. As Onim said, Onkota Kono, Semani Nkota Kono, and then his form dipped. I just hope that Benoit already discovered that form that he had consistently. That would make Benoit and Wesley Fofana the best pair. Like I said this morning, Mikache Richard said one of the reasons why Chelsea will beat Liverpool is because of Benoit Badiashile. And people will underrate him because a lot of people have not paid attention to watch Benoit. Like, to watch and out channel. Take your time and watch him. And I think that's what the fault of young analysts of football, so-called football journalists, analysts, whatever. Sometimes we don't take our time to watch. Sometimes because there are a lot of players, a lot of teams. Some of them we read from colleagues, we watch short videos, and we draw a conclusion. But that's not the right thing to do. And you look at Benoit's technical ability, then you go to the side of our bench friend Joshua Kofi Champon. He has that technical ability, but a different version of it. Now, Benoit is somebody who passes to break the lines. Joshua is a ball carrier to break lines. Yenfa bono, yenfa koni breaking lines. Yenje bono the half 10 yenfa fem. And you see a physicality. And I think it has been good. One of the things that Enzo Mareska does very well, that's again, Chelsea fans sometimes, when I see some people talking about the fact that he doesn't give opportunities to young players, I roll my eyes. See, it's important to polish talent, especially in the English Premier League. When somebody compares, oh, I didn't think that Pau Kubasi would be here for Barcelona, and then Joshua Champon does not play for the English Premier League. You need to polish it. Joshua Champon needed the polishing of the physicality. He needed it so much. Obi says Stavaulian, and Oba gave him. You could tell, say, a lot of polishing has gone in there. And you see, one thing here, you fall for the trick of throwing players in there. Example, Andre Santos. You don't take care, you throw these players into the furnace every time. Then they fall down and they are not ready. You put them in a serious trouble. You will not be able to get back to the top again. But then, managing of these players, knowing when to push them into it, knowing them to say, okay, now I had here to watch Kakra, over a few minutes. And it has been brilliant. That centre-back play has been super. And now, Mohamed Salah, Liverpool had a plan to block the passing lane to Marco Correa. And Oshe Sadiena, that was Liverpool's press. Liverpool press plan was to press 4-4-2 out of possession. That was what Liverpool wanted to press. And in fact, that is what a lot of teams have done until Chelsea changed. Mekacho said this season, that Chelsea built up in a 3. Last season, not built up in a 3-2. And it was a son built up in a 2-3. A 2-3 because not first one built up with a 3. Teams don't press the extra centre back. No, normally, in FIFA, no one pack it. Oma block Caicedo passing lane. Oma block Enzo Fernandez passing lane. Into heading for them to receive. Now you want to bypass these two players and 5 players in the half space. So what Enzo Mareska decided to do is that, okay, Mami overloading Fifi into match no boy, Malo Gusta Juma no the man, like I said, was a roaming +1. Iti no yeah say obo Abrantia your friend obo the 2 centre backs no now for the or the Malo Gusta about extra midfielder. And I thought at the beginning that it probably should have been Romeo Lavia, but the Mareska feels like fitness wise, no Omba Abrantia your friend of Malo Gusto. So Malo Gusto centrally. and a ball Enzo Fernandez Moises Caicedo. But this is the trick. The trick is that Ushe annotation now. Reece James and a branch here friend Marco Correa, they are very close. When the game started, Mohamed Salah was pressing the side, blocking the passing lane to Marco Correa. Suddenly, by Chelsea no get option. So Mohamed Salah ever be pressing over from diagonal, no be block it. The friend is saying Marco Correa passing lane with the cover shadow. Okay, fine. Now the response from Enzo Mareska is that so be block it and cover shadow now. We have a technical angled ball playing centre back in Benoit. If it was Trevor Chalobah right-footed and original on the left side. Before we shift the ball over the left side, we are closing it down. Now, so what Benoit does is that because you're a comfortable left-footed player, originate the ball also, Salah with the right, say Salah is about clip your man. Almost every time, he left the space for 2v1 on the right-hand side between Conor Bradley and Alejandro Garnacho and Marco Correa. Every time, now Alejandro Garnacho was always getting the space in there to go and hit Liverpool for him. But the real job was in the role of Marco Correa as somebody that's our first phase and was second phase thing. Into Russia, Chelsea now inverted the two centre backs into inverted Reece James Kakra and we inverted Marco Correa Kakra. And you full inversion, but they are close. Why? Because you want to take the attention of these other players and we'll do with a two. And once he did that, what it means is that Chelsea always got a +1. It is our goal Moises Caicedo share. Chelsea had in the middle of the park a +1. Unya +1 when 51. Unya +1 was a 5v4 in the middle of the park for Chelsea Football Club. So for me, it was a tactical brilliance. Even in the second half, timer Liverpool for a switch almost centre back pair. One of the best things I saw on the night, and it came from Anna Slot. Say all the game now. Ibrahima Konate was struggling, not struggling to defend, but struggling in terms of the on-the-ball contribution. And the team needed something else. The team needed a ball carrier. They needed a dribbler from deep. They needed somebody that could evade the Chelsea man-for-man press. And one of the best things about Ryan Gravenberch is that you're comfortable in terms of the ball carrying. Like, you're ball from deep, you're pushy, you're dribble, you're Ryan Gravenberch is solid at that. He can do it on any day, any time. Maybe I'll say Ryan Gravenberch is adding waiting high amount. So what happened was that Oyibu Konate free Ryan Gravenberch Edgeman, and then brought Domenico Szoboszlai. What it means is that even at the back line of Liverpool, there were two technicians, and Robertson soon in Puli. But then the big issue, like what Marco Correa said, was that Mohamed Salah's inability to track back anytime Liverpool lost the ball. So he gave Marco Correa the license to push forward. He was not worried. Yanko go pushy, we can get a goal. We'll go. But Liverpool made a lot of tactical tweaks, and Enzo Mareska responded. In fact, I was surprised when Benoit went down, when Joshua went down. I was surprised that on the bench, he didn't bring any other person, especially for Reece's side. He just said, okay, Mami for Romeo Lavia, I'm machine Fiifi. Now Romeo Lavia, I'm the box to box 8. Namin pushy, Abranti AFN, regimes, and Concobo 6, and Concobo 5, sorry. Then Jao had to come and play the left centre back. Then we'll have again natural angles again to build up. And I think that one other person that deserves a lot of commendation, I mean, the quality of Jao on the ball, the physicality, the technical ability to play through teams, how he controls the game. He's not worried about it. Or dribble from. He was under enormous pressure. But of course, Jao, did the job very, very well. It's very important. We see how it's going to be very important in the quality of play for Brentford and regimes. And see, Chelsea have been robbed by the quality of regimes for a very, very long time. Because for a right back that can play in central midfield, a right back that can play as a winger, a right back that can play as a centre back, and what's now, I'll say, when the game was starting, he never thought about centre back, but he had to. There was a time when flicking Bobby, Emma, on Alexander Ishak or Shea Ishak and Navi Ishak Echeno. He Ishak to one every Ishak Mumpe penalty. I felt that Charlie, what kind of bitchy attitude is this? Who Mumpe penalty? And for me, a lot of people need to go back and give Enzo Mareska his stone. Let Enzo Mareska understand it at the top. But even for a lot of you who come here to come and watch the game, I think that me can't ask them about Enzo Mareska on Twitter. Somebody told me that maybe because Mareska is a little bit of a coward. I don't agree. Mareska is a coward. I've realized that most of the assistants of Joseph Guardiola now, they gravitate towards a much more the defensive side of balance. Into more chance someone choosing between on a team being high and wide, no more creating chance, they will always go towards the balance, the defensive side, because I say they know that is the downside of Joseph Guardiola. That is the part where Joseph Guardiola and Shane Yanka probably could have destroyed his legacy. So they lengths on him. Something I think is, you can understand from these managers. One, with Mareska deserves apologies from many fans. Fine to be frustrated with things he does or doesn't do, but to ask him to be sacked recently was insane for me. That's exactly what I said. Anybody that talks about Mareska possibly leaving or being sacked, that person doesn't know what they are saying, in my opinion. Because if you're a quality player, then definitely it's going to be very important. You will be able to play the game and definitely understand that, manager, yes, has made mistakes, but then you need to be very patient with him and then get the results that you are looking for and get how you want to play your game and then solid your things are. It's very, very important. So always sort out them in terms of how the games are being played. My name, some big issue echo. So, and that is the loss of Football Club Barcelona. Barcelona back-to-back games on Malusu since 2024. It being said that. So what it means that there have been a change of Spanish La Liga table. But before you be the Spanish La Liga table, they didn't come up our English Premier League table. And then Crystal Palace, the Oliver Glasner team, went away from home to the Dickinson Stadium and go Colusia against Everton. I didn't expect them to lose on unbeaten streak, as it stands now, our English Premier League game. I thought at least they were going to get some double chance away from home. And it was a 1-1 draw until then. But that did not happen. Jack Grealish has been manifesting goals. He scored a winner for team my friend Everton. And what a time it's been. Sometimes football is very funny. A player plays or Manchester City gets all the success that he can get. Then all of a sudden, he is not the main guy at Manchester City. Goes on to another team and then finds the form again. He's excited playing his football. And Jack Grealish, the last few games we have been drawing here, and I keep saying to myself, come on, Jack, let's score. Imagine if he scored here. I said the same thing today. Said he knew that he was going to get a goal. Imagine if he scored here, they can go on and get a win. And that came from my brand here friend, Jack Grealish. Crystal Palace's 19-game unbeaten streak has been brought down by a brand here, by Everton and Jack Grealish was right there in it, getting the winner. And then after all the weekend brouhaha in terms of the Premier League, the league is shaping up. What it means is that Arsenal are on top of the English Premier League table. Team my friend in Liverpool are in second. But what it means is that for the very first time this season, Liverpool are off the top and Arsenal are on top. And Arsenal are on top with 16 points, Liverpool 15 points, Tottenham Hotspur 14 points, Bournemouth also with 14 points, Mancity just 3 points off Arsenal of the top. Crystal Palace with 12 points on the likes of Chelsea with 13 points. The Premier League table is close. Teams are picking up points, but then it tells you that Manchester City is not a team that you can write off. That solo goal from our brand here friend, Erling Haaland away from home against Keith Andrews' Brentford was a difficult one for them. They went away. They have gotten the job done. They've gotten the results over there. 1-0 Erling Haaland goal. Of course, they know that Arsenal for Jumano against team my friend West Ham United this weekend. Tottenham Hotspur had a good win also this weekend when they went on to go and play on a game away from home. And Mohamed Kudus had an excellent game against Leeds United. Bournemouth had an excellent game as well. And the record can see out of from, and they say Joseph Guardiola, the fastest manager to reach 250 wins in the history of the English Premier League. For me, Joseph Guardiola is the greatest English Premier League manager of all time. Of all time. Of all time. And I repeat it again, because he has won the most trophies in the English Premier League. Somebody's correct me if I'm wrong. He has done the back-to-back thing and even added the back-to-back, something that Sir Alex Ferguson did not do. He has broken the record for number of points in there. It's not as if in a season he has not won even a European treble. He has won a European treble, winning it. For me, in the context of who is the greatest Premier League manager ever, Joseph Guardiola is right there amongst the very best. No manager has reached 250 Premier League wins quicker than Joseph Guardiola. What it means is that, social listener, there is Arsene Wenger, there is Sir Alex Ferguson, there is David Moyes, any and Joseph Guardiola, or the fewest to get there. David Moyes at the 645 games in a winning 250. Arsene Wenger at the 423 games in a winning 250. Sir Alex Ferguson at the 404 games in a winning 250. Joseph Guardiola at the 349, almost 90 something less than Sir Alex Ferguson. I mean, that tells you how much of a top player, coach, friend of Joseph Guardiola. Of course. So what it means now is that English Premier League, there isn't anybody that's unbeaten. So still, the record of Arsenal unbeaten 2003, 2004 still stands. Every team as it stands now is already beaten. No team can be an invincible this season. And that is very, very interesting. The not so good thing, and say in a game, Mancity for an air ball against Tima, your friend of Brentford, your friend Rodri Cascante went down injured. I mean, that's okay. I think that after the game, the conversation is that our friend Rodri Cascante is going to get back. Barca went away from home to Seville and lost the game by 4-1. That's such a big defeat for Barcelona. It was a Barca team without Lamine Yamal, without Rafinha, without most of our top players now. But I think the big issue was that Sevilla picked something from how Paris Saint-Germain played against Barcelona. They were more aggressive with a man-to-man press, and then they used Barca's offside trap against them. Constantly shifting the offside trap, deep runs now. It was something that Barca were able to get into it. I mean, team and friend in Sevilla were able to get into it, and then heads Football Club Barcelona 4-1. And what it means is that Madrid for now are going to stay on top of the Spanish La Liga as we go into the international break. I mean, that is very, very interesting for Football Club Barcelona. That is going to be very, very interesting for Tima, your friend in Barcelona, and how they didn't expect this weekend to go. I mean, this last 1 week has not been good for Barca, and that's why I kept on saying, football is about results. When you win, everybody sings your songs. When you don't win, there's a big conversation. Atletico de Madrid, any sort of Vigo away, 7 points clear na Barca ahead of them. Of course, see how it goes. There are people accusing Ronald Araujo by saying it doesn't seem like a penalty to them. It doesn't matter. The issue is going into the challenge with the force that he's going on with in a reckless way, using his arms and then sticking his foot to play. It wasn't going to reach anything. That is what they're saying about one of the Barca games when we conceded penalty or Ronald Araujo to the referee. Run around to the referee. He went to Charlie Massa. Mo Jana, Mo Mame, Mo Kase, a penalty against me. To the fourth official. You swallowed it. You believed it. You look like you took the bait. As if Flick asked him to calm down. Run around after ending the first half of Sevilla. It's always against us. Always against us. Of course, Marcus Rashford picked up some injury, but then it wasn't bad enough. What we hear is that our branch friend Marcus Rashford most likely is going to get back and be playing his football game, as in how he wants to do it. Mancity Flexi, this was the worst match at Barca. The most painful loss for me was the semi-final against Milan. Now I have to accept the defeat and look at it positively. As a Flexi, we need some players to be at their best. The stadium is tough, but you can't enter the match without the required enthusiasm. Referred to this match, we came into this match asleep. I'm gonna say it's true that just one match and we shouldn't be overreact, but then also it's also a turning point. We need to learn and then learn from it and then go into it. Frankie and Pedri demanding more movement by the players. I think it's important, whether Pedro or Frankie, as I said before, we need to keep the ball and control it. And that didn't happen in the first half. That is something that Barca had a lot of issues today. Of course, they lost the game by 4-1. What it means is that in the Spanish La Liga table, no come Madrid for one, they are going to be excited to be back on top of the Spanish La Liga table, because I mean, why not? Of course, already there's celebrations going on our Madrid side. On social media, Federico Valverde posted a picture of the players now of they saying I'm proud. The next one, Vinny Jr. in training already, preparing for the next one. Most penalties awarded this season. Madrid and Barcelona are all on the most penalties. Madrid so far this season, 10 games, 9 wins, 1 loss, 26 goals conceded, 10 goals conceded. First in the La Liga, second in the UCL under Xabi Alonso. It looks as if things are going the right way for Football Club Real Madrid. And of course, they are going into the direction that they want to go to, playing their football, getting results, delivering. That's exactly what it looks as if they want to go on and then go and do. Madrid wants to win. Alvaro Carrera, some of the players have been talking about things. Dean Henderson at his brother's wedding. Of course, something that's very, very good for them. We'll see how things are going to go on from there. Guys, let me draw the curtain here. Let me add more. I'll come back with some more analysis. Until then, go take care.